Well, Pierre Rioux, our scout in Quebec, he does a great job, covering the league off. We also have Alan Power in the Maritime, so Pierre's full-time, Alan's part-time, but between the two of them, they really do a thorough job for us. So in the Quebec League, I think it was well known this year that it was a pretty strong year for that league, so we were there quite a bit, and Rimouski specifically, so it was good. I'm happy for that league. I'm sure there was I don't know if it wasn't a record number today, but I'm sure it was close to it.
6 of 22, I think, in the first round.
Yeah.
Can you take us through the other picks as well?
Yeah.
Fred, actually.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just, first year in the queue. So was he just on your radar this year?
Well, you know what? Pierre had seen him the year before, so he knew about him. Yeah, he'd seen him, but he was committed to go to Harvard at that point.
Right.
And I think at that time, he'd been a football player too at one time, and he really didn't know that he was that good a hockey player. I mean, he knew he could play the game, obviously, but I don't think he realized how good he was.
Okay.
And then he got heavily recruited by Rimouski, by some bigger name people that had played in Rimouski previously. But I think once he got there, he jumped on the scene fairly quickly, and he had a very, very good first half. He seemed to tire a bit in the second half, which I think is normal for a kid that's not used to that kind of grind. And then he came back in April at the World Championships and had a really good tournament.
He was telling us that Crosby gave him a phone call trying to get him to Rimouski.
Yeah, that's one of those.
That big name player you're talking about?
Yeah, that you don't know if you get much bigger than that. Yeah, so.
But he's a defensive specialist, I guess. What he projects to be. In the
well,
NHL,
I put him at more a two-way guy,
yeah.
But yeah, certainly he's very, very good in his own zone. He's responsible. He's good on face-offs. And I would say he's got a developing offensive game. I mean, his totals are good for a first-year guy in the league. And I thought at the tournament he came up with some big plays at the right time. And so, we're hopeful that he can develop that game. But yeah, we like his size. We like his all-around game.
Who's the biggest set of hands you've shaken hands with in a long time? I mean, they're huge.
Yeah, he's a big kid, but that's not a bad thing.
No.
That's okay. We'll take it.
So third round, you guys got another center.
Yeah, we got Carter Verhaeghe. We had him. I sort of put him in a little bit of that Josh Levo category, where he was really a late bloomer in terms of when his development really started to take off. And we thought the second half of this year you could really see signs of him really coming on, and then especially in the playoffs versus Oshawa. And then he's another guy who had a real good tournament over there. With the number of players that came in, I think he was more in a third or fourth line role, but played very well. We kept a close eye on him. So, and he's got some size potential. He's still a kid that can put on quite a bit of weight and get stronger. So, we just think there's that potential really had us with him. So we're hopeful.
Fabrice Herzog from Switzerland.
Okay, say that.
Yeah, I had to practice before I spit that one out. No. Yeah. You know what? He's big and he can skate, and he's not afraid of physical play, and he goes hard to the net. And our European scouts, specifically Peter Inachek, was very high on him. So, he's sort of in my ear quite a bit this year about him. So,
plan is to bring him to North America. Who's got his rights?
Nobody at this point.
So
but yes, I think he's. I think he's going to be available in the import draft, but that's something between him and his agent that we'll follow up on and just see what his plans are. But I think at this point he's open to coming, but I'm not sure.
You get a goalie that was passed up in the draft too. Henny was saying that. I guess Spots have a real good play this year.
Yeah, he sort of took over the number one job there this year, and culminating with an invite to Canada's tryout camp. They only took 3 goals. I don't think he made it, but you know what? He's big. There wasn't a lot of bigger goalies available this year. He's one of the bigger bodies, and I had Mike Palmater follow him a few times this year. So I saw him myself, and Pierre and Alan, and there's Al Jensen from Central Scouting had a lot of time for him. So we just thought he was one of those kids that we'd like to see in our system to see what we can do with him. We think there's a lot of potential.
And Andrea Johnson.
You know what?
We lost the guy too, eh? Oh no, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, only 5.
Yeah, that's right. You guys traded too.
Yeah, it's all right. I like the trade too, though. I'm quite happy about that trade. It is all, it's the big team, right? So, he is a skilled, strong winger. Not tall, but he's got a thicker build, but very intelligent and skilled.
Tommy's brought you guys a couple of pretty good late round picks that may eventually find their way onto the team. Maybe.
Yep, we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed and not jinx it.
You're right.
But yeah, we've been fortunate with some of the guys we've taken from over there, and the North American guys that saw him too really liked him. So we just want to take a chance on that skill.
The Leafs have not been historically involved with the Q, taking players from the Q.
Mm-hmm.
You took 2 this.
Yeah.
6. I guess with the way the Q's going, you can't ignore that league.
No, and I was saying before that it was just such a good year in the Q, and we were obviously heavily scouted by not just us but 29 other teams, and it was a great crop of kids, and Frederick was on our radar obviously pretty early, so we kept a close eye on him, and we're obviously very happy we got him today.
You seen a change in the Q, just in the style of play? It used to be kind of a small man's league or small boys league, and I've seen a lot of big bodies there, and it seems like a tougher league now.
Well, it is, and you know what? Just think of a coach like Guy Boucher, too, with the style of coaching that he brought. So, you know what? There's a lot more attention to defense than there was, perhaps 20, 30 years ago. So, and you know what? It is what it is. I mean, there's no perfect style, but you just see that, there's a little different breed of player, and that's good. That's good for that league, and they still produce goalies. There's still good kids there, and so they've earned it.